Moon in Aries intention planting ceremony. So we're going to take a second, make sure that you have your Foursquare. Flip it up. So this is one of the printables that you can get, click below, or anywhere the resources are located, or you can just use a good old-fashioned piece of paper, as you've probably seen in the other videos. Fold it in half, and you're gonna plant your intentions. So you can plant them as health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression, as we talk about in the Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel-Shinn, and hopefully by now you've already seen the resources that go along with it. If not, again, just click around and find those. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna plant a micro and a macro intention in each of these quadrants. So I'll label these. Something else that might be coming up, if you have been doing this for a while, instead of health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression, you may wanna try 4 new words. The words I've been using for the past lunar cycle or the past year are ease, flow, connection, and expansion. And they kind of go along with the health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression, the way that I plant my intentions. Expansion. But the wording takes us out of our kind of material needs and our physical needs and more into our kind of esoteric or like higher selves needs. So those are 4 words you may want to play around with, and you're going to plant a micro and a macro. So a micro intention, in case this is your first time here or you just need a little reminder. Micro is a small intention that you'd like to manifest in the next 2 weeks. And macro is something a little bit larger that could take about 6 months to pop into your reality. So big and small are relative terms for whoever is, watching this. What's macro for me might be micro for you, and what's micro for me might be macro for you. Did I switch those? I can't. I'm not sure. But I hope you understand, it's something that, in 2 weeks, what could you see coming into your reality? Is it a trip somewhere? Is it an overnight trip where somebody invites you and you pack a 3-day bag and you're gone? Or is it this is a big one that I would love to do someday, a literal around the world cruise. Someday I'm going to be one of those elderly yachters. It's kind of like my life plan for myself. I'm going to be an elder millennial yachter, just cruising the 7 seas. No, is that what it is? 5 oceans, 7 continents, 1 journey. And just cruising, that's my big thing. But what's the reality that could actually happen in 2 weeks? So those are kind of how you can guide your intentions. Always use words like I am, not I will or I have. So I am is a declarative statement. You put it out to the universe. You say, this is happening. Honor your agreement and I'll honor mine. Okay, so remember to plant your intentions. If you need more help in doing this, there's additional resources available wherever you're seeing this. So that's first. Next up, I'm going to do the Aries full moon ritual. So it's fall where I am. We're going into the cold season here in Southern Africa, but it is spring, and so I've got allergies. I don't know. I just always get allergies. I've got this red eye, so apologies. I've got a little stuffy nose, but whatever. I'm looking a little wild today. Okay, it kind of matches, Aries is a very, fiery, it was so funny. As I was getting ready, I was I need cooling, looks and colors. And then I was red lips, red eyes. I'm, very much feeling the Aries fiery personality. Okay, so you'd think that I'd already done the ritual, but I haven't. Aries New Moon. Let's get primal. So calling all light workers. Oh, I'm so excited for this one. Now, we need light workers so much right now. And if you can't feel the call, now is the time that light workers and light warriors, more than ever before in the history of our world, are being called to the front, because the world needs our light. They need our energy. They need our optimism and our ability to always lean into the good in humanity and to always see a way forward when even the dark night of the soul might make it seem like there is no way forward. So let's get primal. Calling all light workers to activate their inner light warriors. Do you do you on the daily, or do you make yourself small and acquiescent as to not to rock the boat or make others uncomfortable. Hand raise, that used to be me. So the new moon in self-starting Aries is calling us to draw on our warrior instincts and readily express our raw, real, and honest emotions. Often we're taught by our families of origin, school institutions, and society at large that expressing our authentic selves is actually unacceptable. So when addressed over time, this repression can cause us to react with anger. We see things on the news and social media when individuals reach a boiling point and seem to explode unexpectedly. In reality, the fear of speaking up for oneself or truly being authentic in our daily interactions has manifested in a simmering ire that was pushed below the surface, lurking in the shadows until a point of no return when rage expressed itself. So the Aries new moon is challenging us to vent that repression responsibly by walking in our truth and expressing our full, societally unedited selves. So this new moon is calling in all light warriors to let our lids off in a quick and expressive ritual that will run any pent-up energy from our physical and energetic systems while stepping into our authentic power. With love, light, and a fire in my belly to help you manifest your best possible life in the physical, that is the Aries new moon ceremony. So go ahead and take a minute, if you haven't already done so already, head over to the Aries new moon ritual guide and get real, raw, primal, and just dig into the mantra of this moon cycle, which is honoring our authentic selves as light workers and light warriors. If you're new to this term, hi, welcome to the party. That's what we've been doing here for the last year. Mediums are light workers, healers are light workers, Reiki masters, chiropractors, nurses, teachers, doctors, anybody who has a desire to serve in their life, and that is like the leading intention in their life, is a light worker. And you usually see people in healing professions transition into like more metaphysical healing modalities like Reiki or distance healing or quantum healing, things like that. People who do mediumship or psychic work tend to be light workers in the sense that they desire to educate and teach and heal in a different way, like Reiki masters and hands-on healers or quantum healers, massage therapists even. You know, we have like the mainstream term for something and then the metaphysical term for something. I did an episode with my brother who's a chiropractor on Golden Otter divinations. If you haven't seen that episode, go check it out. It's in one of these rituals. And then I also did an interview with my mom, who is an internal medicine doctor. So they're both traditional healers. They both went to medical school. They're, one's a licensed chiropractor, one's a licensed medical internist. Both have years of practice. But one language that we all speak as healers and educators is that we desire to serve others and heal others. And that's something really common with light workers, is this desire to be the balm or the salve that kind of covers a wound and helps it start its own healing. Because one person can't actually heal another. I mean, yes, there are some amazing healers out there who can send energy, who can send, quantum healing. They can send the vibe to somebody who is willing to receive healing. Hypnotherapists, therapists, can be a mental thing too. But that healing can't actually take place unless the person who is receiving it actively wants this. And I've talked about this before. I grew up in my mom's medical practice and always going to the hospital with her. I grew up in a rural town in Alaska. Totally normal to have take your kid to work day every day. I mean, maybe not totally normal, but we did it. She didn't have any other choices, a mostly single mother. So where was I going with that story? I spent a lot of time around sick people, dying people, people in pain of some kind. And what I saw of all the doctors and the providers and the healers in that space was that they wanted to impart healing on the person coming to them or in the person in their sphere. But that healing was not always received. So if you see somebody with a burn and you want to put the balm on and, be the salve to start that healing process, if they're not willing to let you debride the wound and then say yes, I'm going to keep this clean and I'm going to continue my healing journey, that's going to necrose. It's going to go bad, and that healing that you put on is basically for nothing. Sorry, I'm just having a flashback to when I tried to help a homeless man in DC who had a necrosed foot, and I wanted so badly, he had diabetes, and I wanted so badly to help this man and get him bandages, and I was should I take him home with me? And I was new to DC. and he just wanted somebody to talk to. He just wanted somebody to listen. And I was like desperately trying to help this guy keep his foot. And I was trying to make like a care plan, thinking maybe he didn't have resources or the ability to get places. And then somewhere in the conversation, I realized, you know what? The best use of my time with this person is to sit with them while they enjoy the warm meal that, I went in and that was all they wanted, just like something warm to eat. So I got something warm to eat and then sat with them as he ate his meal. And as I walked away feeling like I didn't do enough to help this person who, just looking at his leg, like that foot was not long for this world. Like having grown up around the medical profession, when something is gangrenous, then it's gotta go. Or it's just not, going to get the healing. But the lesson that I took away from that and what I'm trying to encapsulate now is this idea that light workers want to give our light. We want to be the light in the world. But if the people that we're trying to give that light to don't want the healing, they're not going to then take it and do something with it. We have to say, okay, this is where I leave you. I've done what I can. I'm showering you with love and light, and this is where I leave you. And that was the lesson that I learned throughout my lifetime, witnessing physicians and my mother and other providers give healing, and people returning sick and sick and sick. And it's a matter of not necessarily always wanting to take that proactive step with our own energy and our own life force and our own journey as humans having, or spiritual beings having these human experiences, and do something with that healing. And so that was just something that, like, I thought of this man and I had to leave him thinking, okay, like I've done what I can, but that's where I leave you. The other thing that I want to talk about during this Aries new moon is shadow work. So a big part of light workers' identity can be hiding in the shadows because you don't want to be seen for who you truly are. So you turn down your opinions, you turn down your light, you turn down that divine spark of consciousness in you to not kind of ruffle anybody's feathers or like be seen as the weirdo who talks about crystals and angels and guides and loved ones and spirits and quantum healing and astral travel and whatever it is that you're into. That is part of the light workers journey. And as more light workers turn into light warriors, which is like this emboldened person who's willing to go out there and be seen for who they truly are and say, if you want to judge me, that's okay, because that's your journey, not mine. So this ritual lets us get out some of that pent-up repression that a lot of light workers have experienced, like generationally, or at least in this lineage, in this lifetime. A lot of times with light workers, if you delve into past lives, there's some sort of like witch trial or oppression or being cast out of a tribe, because we all desire to be part of a tribe. And when our tribe doesn't recognize our spiritual beliefs or our metaphysical beliefs, it can be a very isolating experience. And so then we tend to repress and hide and dim our light and kind of like move away from that. But I don't believe that, like, if you're resonating with the term light worker, if you're hearing this in any way and you're like, I am a light worker, you are. Like, there's no one who's ever heard the term and gone like, oh, what is that? Wait, that sounds like me, is not that, if that makes any sense. Okay, so remember to plant your intentions and then go do the ritual and just like let that crazy energy out so that you can show up and shine in this world, because we need it. We have just gone through a huge energetic shift as a consciousness. We all know that it has happened. We're also going through what is happening. This has been an incredibly up-leveling lunar cycle, and you can feel it, everybody around you can feel it, and now more than ever, it is time to lean into your spiritual gifts, into your natural knowing, into your weird quirks, as long as they're healthy for everybody involved. And yeah, also be sure to check me out on Instagram. I just did a post about how our mental health and owning our shadow selves is really important for two reasons. One, when you're going to do any kind of light work, any kind of healing work, keeping your own mental health is so important. And there is no shame in being a light worker who helps and heals. They also call it like the wounded healer who needs help. That's the whole reason we're here. It's just, help me, help you, help me, help them. So there's no shame in reaching out for help. Also, staying on top of our own mental health helps the people who love and support us continue to do so. Because as we change and evolve, even though the collective consciousness is also rapidly changing right now, like, don't be surprised if people who you would never expect to be talking about like crystals and Reiki and healing and quantum energy or the quantum field or quantum activation or just like all these weird metaphysical terms, don't be surprised if you're standing in line and like the guy behind you is talking about it. Don't be surprised if you're like, you know, go into a clerk's office. I had this happen at the tax office and somebody's like, your vibe is fire. And I was like, thank you. He's like, no, you have the best energy I've ever felt. And he like went on this whole metaphysical tangent as I'm like, I was in my pajamas with like a jacket over me in DC, like trying to slip my taxes in the door. You know, this whole day I was like, thank you. Like, I did not expect to get showered in like metaphysical abundance while standing in line with like an overcoat trying to hide that I was in my pajamas. So anyways, don't be surprised if you hear that. Take care of your mental health because it lets the people who support you continue to do so in a healthy way, and also be aware of the shadow. So whenever you start stepping into your light, you're gonna also have to confront your shadow. We've got more discussions on that at another time, but be gentle with yourself, be loving with yourself, and all of those parts that we've tried to disown or move away from, they don't go anywhere. It's our shadow, you know, it's always there. And by looking at it and giving it some light and just saying, I see you, you know, that doesn't have to be me, but that is a part of me. Just love it. Just say it like, I love you there, shadow. And be ready to kind of like feel your way into a new relationship with understanding who you are in the world and how others see you, because they want to see you shine. And if they don't deserve time and space in your reality. Okay, that's my soapbox. I'm gonna head out. Happy new moon in Aries.